postman Pat and his black and white cat.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Mitch from BD Audio, where we like to dyno amps down under. And on today's episode, we have a box. This box comes from South Australia, and it's got some goodies in there for me to test. And you know what? We're going to throw them all into the one video. Now, this box was sent over from a base head in Australia, and most of the Australians might know him as Ewan Gray, but just so everyone is aware, it's actually not Ewan, it's Yayan, which is caught me by surprise because I've always called him Ewan.
So this is his Facebook page. I would definitely go and check it out. He's just a local guy in Australia, but he does a lot of really good builds. He loves the little subs, your little 8s and 10s and stuff like that. But if you do need a box design, I would definitely hit him up. I've seen some pretty good designs from him.
I don't have the right tone on this USB. This is 20 hertz. I should do 18 or 17 really, but don't do a large t-shirt in the window. Fuck yeah.
See, I've been gone, was trying to hit a lick, but that shit just went wrong. I got a dot, she right off the block. Her grip be the spot, and we got glocks. Tucked all in her shit, don't come in unless you know. But this bitch grind. So we do.
Alright, got the zero flexes in. I gotta be careful because they do smell a bit lows. But they do alright.
Big two.
But you know what? He sent over some goodies. We're going to test them, and we're going to see how they all go. Let's get this box cracked open. So we'll open this up. He has done quite a good job packaging it. I did pre-cut some of it open just to make sure that there was nothing broken inside. But we will go through and see what is in here. So first off, we have a fosi audio. So this is a home audio amplifier. And how nice, he even supplied the power supply for it, which is quite nice. So this is a 240 volt, 3.5 amp hour, and a 5 amp hour output. So should be decent enough. We do have another one, which I think this is the older generation fosi. So this is the TB10D. We may not necessarily test both of them, but we might get a hold of at least one of them. We also then have a whole bunch of bubble wrap. We then have a JL. So this is a JL XD400-4. This is a 4-channel amplifier. I believe this is a Class AB. Very, very heavy. Just if we can quickly check something. Just going to go straight off the bat because may as well. This here weighs 2.2 kilos. I don't know if you can actually see that, but that's quite a heavy little amp for not much bigger than my hand. And then, last but not least, for all you Americans out there, because we don't have too many of these in Australia, the Sundown SFB 200.4D. So this one should also make quite a nice video. So let's get a few of these wired up on the bench and let's see what kind of power they all make. Run through them one by one. We're going to do this quick fire. So we are going to go hands-free for this because I want to sort of whack them all out as quickly as possible because testing 4 amps will take a long time. On this side of the amplifier, you have your 4-gauge inputs, which they do fit a 4-gauge reducer very easily. On the other side of the amplifier, you have your Tiffany style RCAs. Then on your channel 1 and 2, you have your high pass and your low pass. You have your gain, your crossover, power, clipped, protect LED. On the bottom, channel 3 and 4, You have your high, your low, your gain, your crossover, and a additional gain or a level. Bass boost probably. No clip or protect LED on that side. And then you have 8 gauge inputs. Next on the chopping block is the XD400-4. So on the top, you have your grub screws for your inputs. You have your display for your RCAs. You have pre-outs, remote level mode input. Then you have on channel 1 and 2, you have your input sensitivity, your filter, and your frequency for the filter. And same again for your channels 3 and 4. Then on the face, you have, unfortunately, not a great input. These are like these weird squash down ones. You then have standard RCAs. You have your bass controller plug via telephone cable. And then you have your speakers 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Bridge positive to right negative. So then we also have the fosi home audio. So on the older, I believe this is the Gen 1, you have a power switch. You then have a treble, you have a bass, and you have a volume. On the other one, you don't have any control, as I believe it's either, I think this might be potentially controlled, or you actually have no adjustments other than a switch on the volume. So as you turn it on and off, it switches automatically. On the back, they are virtually the same. You have your RCA inputs, you have your terminals for banana plugs, or potentially wind out and put your wire through and screw them back up. And then you have your power supply plug. So there we have the 4 amplifiers up and running onto the bench. Let's get them wired up and see what kind of power they make. Well, there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. As I said, it was sort of a quick, punchy one. Didn't want to go into too much detail because we were just running through so many amps. But you did get to see the Sundown SFB 200.4 and the JL 400.4. Competitively, they are almost identical. And I tell you what, boy, they put out some power. It's pretty insane. I'm not going to bother doing a flow chart at the end of each individual amp because it will just physically take too much time. If you do want to see the scores, go back and watch them. Don't skip through. Make sure you watch. But they are both absolute powerhouses. And mind you, you'll notice with this one, I did a whoopsie. The Sundown is rated at 1 ohm per channel. The JL was not. When I wired the JL up, I forgot that I had that still at 1 ohm from the previous test. So the very first test I did was at 1 ohm. No protect, no nothing. It copped it like an absolute champs. But it was a whoopsie. The fosis, again, they're a little bit on the fence. They're meant to sound really nice. They definitely didn't get anywhere close to the power that they were meant to. But who knows? That's obviously limited probably by their power supply. But overall, they're quite nice. The V3 is a lot nicer than the original. Just having the easyability of switching it on and off, not having a dicky little switch to turn it on and off. But yeah, so that's them. And if you do like these kind of videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications. And as always, this is Mitch from BD Audio, where we like to dyno amps down under. I'm tuning out. See ya!